Hello, Dr. Steinbrenner and my fellow classmates. Um, when you hear about the war on drugs, the AIDS epidemic, gangster rap, Ronald Reagan, the Cold War, what generation does that put you in mind of? That's right, Generation X. Newsflash, if you were born between 1961 and 1981, you are a Gen Xer. And Generation X is the most adversely defined generation alive of the six living generations alive today in the United States. But I think we're also the most necessary. Now, when I say adversely defined, I'm speaking of being called the lost generation. Now, that stigma is associated with the social issues we had to face during the 1980s and 1990s. The truth is, we inherited those issues from the previous generation. The war on drugs, that's a byproduct of the hippies. You remember the hippies? The flower children? AIDS? Remember the sexual revolution? Remember the make love, not war rhetoric? Do you remember Ronald Reagan and the Cold War? You know, the USSR that doesn't exist? We lived under a constant threat of a president that had an itchy finger that he may just press the button and end all existence, and all the nations were afraid of us. In the USSR, they had bombs pointed at us, and so we lived under a constant threat that, hey, any day now, World War III was going to come, or Armageddon. That's how we saw it. That's how things felt. Up until the wall came down. Then the world changed. But then there's other stigmas associated with my generation. They call us the slackers. Slackers. They call us that because we have a sense of balance between our work life and our personal life. We are a work hard, play hard generation. That's our mentality. We work to live. We don't live to work. Then we were called the latchkey kids. Well, that stigma came from there being one parent in the home, or due to divorce. Then you have both parents working. Whatever the issue was, we had to fend for ourselves. We had to learn to be self-sufficient. And I think that's where we're mistaken, because our self-sufficiency, it's really self-sufficiency. It's not being self-absorbed. We're very individualistic, but that individualism is not a stigma, it's our strength. You can count on us to get something done. Why? Because we are a go-get-it. You can put something in our hands, and we know how to handle it. Why? Because we had to learn how to do things on our own. We didn't have anybody there. We had to learn the rules and learn what was expected of us and carry it out without somebody standing on our back or holding our hands to get things done. Now, they also call us materialistic, but you got to understand, by us being individualistic and self-sufficient and having that work hard, play hard mentality, we actually taught ourselves, because of how hard we work and how hard we play, hey, let's enjoy ourselves. So we learned to enjoy what we earn. That's how we did it. We enjoy it, and then you got to consider, a lot of us did without a parent in the home, without somebody, taking us through to do certain things. So what happened is, once we started working, we learned to enjoy what we earned, and when we went out to buy, we bought the best. We grew up during the consumer revolution. You had designer clothes becoming very popular, $100 sneaker Jordans, the cell phone coming into existence finally, home video games, the VCR, the Walkman, the cable TV with 200 channels, microwave oven so we could just pop it in and go. We were at the very beginning of a very convenient life. And finally, we had all the gadgets that we used to dream of when we watched Star Trek and all that other stuff, and all the devices, everything except the flying cars and the robots. Now, you got to stop and think. We Generation Xers, we are in high demand today in the workforce. We're in high demand in the media, in the entertainment business, and all throughout the American culture. It's not our time, it's not even our era, and yet, guess what? We're still popular.